Hey, good morning, everyone. Thank you so very much for subscribing to the channel or sharing the videos that you've seen so far. Welcome back. It's every day developing new situations here and there. So I just wanted to take a moment to just share some general mindfulness-based techniques with you so that you can try these at home. The point and purpose of doing a mindfulness practice, there's a lot of different reasons somebody might want to practice a mindfulness technique or create a practice for themselves. One of the benefits that comes with practice, regardless if you're focused on it or not, is stress reduction. Or stress management. And certainly right now, as we're experiencing the world, there can be levels of anxiety and levels of stress that we're all experiencing in some way or another. So let's do just a review of breath awareness. So your breath, if you just take a moment here and you just close your eyes and just notice your body, you'll notice that you're always breathing. There's always an inhale, there's always an exhale. The type of breath that we have, however deep it is or however shallow it might be, it's always going to be there. The breath is there. Even if there's a lingering pause as you inhale or a lingering pause as all the breath is out, the breath is just natural to your body, of course, right? If we weren't breathing, we wouldn't be alive. So the breath is intimately connected to our nervous system. Since you don't have to control it, it's called an involuntary nervous response. And then the other cool thing about our breath is that we can actually control it, right? So if you turn your attention back to your breath, you close your eyes, right? If I say inhale, right, you can immediately tell your body to take that inhale. If I told you to hold your breath in, right, take a big breath in, hold it, you could do that. You can consciously control your breath, right? And so that is called a voluntary nervous function. So our breath is a wonderful part of our system in the sense that it can be an involuntary nervous response. It just does it by itself. And then also it can be a voluntary nervous function where we consciously control that. So the reason that that's a good thing is that through the voluntary action, through the conscious control of our breath, we are going to be influencing our nervous system, since the breath is a nervous function. So just being aware of your breath is probably the most fundamental meditation practice or meditation technique that someone could employ. And that is just as basic as it sounds. You find a comfortable position to either sit in, or if you need to lay down, you can lay down. But you just turn your attention and your awareness to your inhale, either the sensations in your nose or whatever you feel in your mouth. So let's try that for a moment. We won't go too long, so just find a comfortable seated position, allow your eyes to close, and then just be aware of the sensations of breath in your nose or along your mouth. And you don't have to control your breath for this one. Just let your breath naturally happen. And all we want to do is be observant of the different sensations that come up in the moment. All right, good. So you may have noticed while you were trying that, if you're new to this type of a practice, you may notice that your mind comes in and it's like, am I doing this right? Or what's this going on over there? Or what do I have to do later? Or what happened yesterday? The mind is always going to be speaking to us. And another thing to highlight when we practice a mindfulness technique or meditation technique is that the stillness that comes, it comes with practice. It doesn't immediately happen. The mind is always somewhere there that's trying to make sense of what's going on. So there's going to be thoughts that talk to you. And so to help us along is we simply notice when we've turned our attention to a thought rather than what we are supposed to be focused on. In this case, it's the breath, the sensations in the nose or the mouth. So if your thoughts come up, all you do is just say, hey, that was a thought, no big deal. I'm going to come right back to what I was focused on. And actually, that is where we start to develop the benefits of a meditation practice or a mindfulness technique practice. The quicker that we can come back from the thought to what we're focused on, the better eventually that we are practicing. Right. So, right when we first start a technique, thoughts come, thoughts go, thoughts come, thoughts go. No big deal. We're distracted. Over time, maybe a couple of weeks of practice, thought comes and goes. Then there's some space where you're able to focus. Then another thought comes. We are able to focus. There's some space. And then ultimately, we'll be able to focus without getting distracted by the thoughts or other things going on. And that's how we'll know that we're doing well in our mindfulness or meditation technique practice. So breath awareness, like I said, just being aware of the nose or the mouth, the sensations that are happening there, is one of the most fundamental mindfulness techniques that you can do at home. And then another one is controlling the breath, right? So we talked about that involuntary, voluntary control of the breath. So instead of just sitting there and being aware of the nose or the mouth, wherever you need to feel those sensations, we're going to control the breath, right? So go ahead and find, a comfortable seat. You don't have to be seated in a chair. You can be on the floor or laying down, but allow your eyes to close. And this time, be aware of your breath, but you're going to control it. So as you notice yourself wanting to inhale, control that inhale, bring the breath up, and then control the breath as it goes out. Again, you're the one that's choosing the inhale, and you're the one that's choosing the exhale. Now continue that practice, controlling in, controlling out, and create a rhythm, right? Let your inhale and exhale be rhythmic. Let the inhale and exhale be balanced. So if you'd like to, you can also bring numbers in there. So as you inhale, count to maybe the number 5. And then as you exhale, count to the number 5 again, so that you're balancing out that breath. So let's try that a couple more moments here. Inhaling and exhaling. Inhaling and exhaling. Good. Do a few more. And I'll take one more big breath in and one more big breath out. All right. So very similar to the first practice that we tried, breath awareness. And again, this one is where we just choose. We're choosing that breath. And maybe the benefit of choosing the breath is that we give our minds something else to do, right? So the first technique, we were just sitting there and trying to be aware of what's happening in the moment. And for some of us, that might be hard to do. We need some activity with our mind to keep ourselves focused. So controlling the breath is one layer of complexity, so to say, or one layer of mental gymnastics, so to say, that we are taking our mind and saying, hey, this is something that you got to do. Go ahead and focus on that. Whereas the first technique is like, oh, your mind is just left to its own devices, and those thoughts maybe come up a little bit more than if you're choosing something to focus on, controlling to do. All right, so those are 2 techniques that I would suggest trying maybe the next couple of days. Find a moment in the morning, in the middle of the afternoon, or the evening, just so that you can sit, create a nice little space for yourself in your home or outside like I am here, and take a few moments to be observant of your breath. Try that for maybe 5-10 minutes if you'd like. And then if you want to, control the breath, right? Try that for another 5 to 10 minutes if you'd like. There's no recommended length of time. If you're getting into the practice, you're just starting off with a meditation technique or practice, 5 minutes is certainly enough to begin with. And then slowly increase your time so that maybe 20 minutes. My meditation instructor, Mr. Roy Eugene Davis, he would recommend everybody try a 20-minute meditation once they feel comfortable with the technique that they're using. And then maybe occasionally over the week or month that you've been practicing, try a little bit longer. Choose one day, maybe a Saturday or a Sunday when you have some downtime, and try to go for 45 minutes to an hour, hour and a half. And if you're a very astute practitioner, go a little bit longer. Meditation practice isn't about, doing it for like 10 hours straight or something like that. I mean, you can certainly go to that extreme if you'd like. But the practice really is about cultivating an inner awareness and a ability to focus inwardly and not become so distracted by the outside world. All right, so thank you so very much for joining me today. I wish you abundant happiness, peace in your heart, and just share your smile with everyone. Thank you so much for joining. Namaste, friends.